Welcome to Spiritual Practices. I am Reverend Nancy Dibelius of the United Methodists of Upper New York. I would like to introduce the practice of journaling. I often invite individuals to journal after a spiritual practice. That invitation makes an assumption, however, that you have experience with journaling, that you understand how journaling is different from keeping a diary, for example. I would like to offer some guidance on the spiritual practice of journaling. So how is keeping a journal different from keeping a diary? A diary generally records the daily events in your life. A journal may initially record an event, but its focus is inward. How was I affected by the event? How do I feel about the event? It is a way of recording our inner conversations, which then help us to better understand ourselves and our reactions to things. It is a way of helping us discover more about ourselves and the world around us. Journaling becomes a spiritual practice when we focus on where God is in these events, how we see and understand God at a given time, what we need to attend to so that our relationship with God deepens and grows. It often opens us to a wider, fuller awareness of God in the world. We suddenly see God's presence in the midst of an event that we did not appreciate in the moment. It is also a good way to make note of things we would like to take into more intentional prayer as we seek to develop our prayer life. It can serve as a place to record our ongoing dialogue with God. Do you sense an invitation from God? Are you aware of a resistance to an invitation? How do you feel about what you are sensing? I would encourage you to actually write. There is something about the physical act of writing that opens our creative self, that allows time for your mind to reflect and process as you write. As for the journal itself, you can certainly find lovely books with blank pages intended for this purpose. But a simple spiral-bound notebook or a composition book works as well. This is really a matter of personal preference. How might you get started journaling? Journaling after a spiritual practice is a great place to start. What else might you journal about? Perhaps simple daily events in your life as you explore God's presence in your life. Perhaps after reading scripture, maybe some particular word or phrase caught your attention, or other reading material, something you saw on the news that day. Perhaps you're interested in exploring your dreams. Sometimes daydreams are equally insightful. Maybe a conversation with a friend. I would suggest that if you are new to journaling, you don't try everything at once. Choose something specific that you would be willing to commit to journaling about regularly. Maybe you start with a spiritual practice. Journaling can become for you a significant practice that will help you deepen your spiritual life and your relationship with God. To start the practice, I invite you to explore a reading from Scripture, perhaps something from this week's lectionary readings. If you would like to watch a video on the spiritual practice of journaling, you can find a link in the show notes.